Okay, so I know I recently made a video about failure and rejection, but we just had another one, folks. We have another L adding to the stack. I can't figure out where to sit. It's a work from home day where Sean's at home, hence, this podcast episode is more like chaotic and not in my usual sitting position in the bedroom instead of my desk. If you follow my main channel, then you have probably seen that your girl got rejected from Harvard Business School. For context, HBS is a 2-year MBA program or Masters of Business Administration program. I applied this year in round 1, and it might seem weird where I'm like shocked, oh, I didn't get to Harvard, right? Harvard's so hard to get into. But the weird thing is, like, I didn't even get an interview to proceed to the next round. And here's why, okay? I'm not just, tooting my own horn being like, oh, I'm Harvard material. But it's like, basically their average undergrad GPA of admitted students, or their median, it's like 3.7 GPA. I have a 4.0 GPA in chemical engineering from Caltech, the California Institute of Technology, and their GMAT score. So GMAT is like the SAT for MBA admissions. Their average or median, I forgot, GMAT score of admitted Harvard students, it's 740, and I scored a 760. And then the MBA program, as Harvard says, they really want to see future leaders who make a positive impact on the world. And on my main channel, which is just my name, Amy Wang, I help students reach their potential. I have thousands and thousands of messages saying how I've changed their lives, parents reaching out to me like, my daughter looks up to you. She asks herself, what would Amy do? Things like that. And I also held an in-person back to school event recently that was for free, where we had a panel, and it was just really awesome in collaboration with some great educational brands. So with all that being said, I did think that I fit the bill that they said, at least to get an interview. The third time getting rejected from Harvard specifically, they just really don't like me. They don't even give me the chance to speak to them in an interview. And I don't really know how else to explain the shock and disappointment, because I cannot deny that I am disappointed and shocked, not even surprised, because I know it's kind of a shot in the dark whenever you apply to anything, but there are certain times when you feel like your judgment tells you that you do fit the bill of what they say they want, and what Harvard says they want on their website. If you see it, it just really encapsulates like everything that I've done and been building, and the impact on people that I've been making and I tried to continue making. So just wanted to give my raw thoughts, because I literally got the notification of my rejection and no interview just half an hour ago. Wanted to share my raw thoughts, as disorganized as they may come out to be. So first of all, immediately after seeing the rejection message, it was shock, numbness, and then some tears ensued because of the effort and how the reality deviated from the expectation. But then very quickly I recovered and was like, no, they don't deserve any tears from me. Like, what's the point, right? They already said, hey, you're not good enough, so why should I let them affect me in any capacity anymore? I realized that why I can be very stoic about this right now is that I am a completely different person than I was when I faced the rejections in 2021 and in 2017. With growth, not only by time and with maturity and experience, I have gained so much self-confidence and trust in who I am and my own abilities that I don't need validation to some extreme where, I'm gonna cry so much like I did when I got rejected in high school. I have grown so much, more importantly, from my efforts and pursuing my passions and taking risks by building a business, by building an amazing community. I took these risks by betting on myself. And that's what's most important. It's like you have to bet on yourself. And when you believe in yourself and then your bet pays off, you don't care nearly as much if someone else doesn't bet on you. Because you're like, I don't need you to bet on me because I bet on me and it's worked before. So why not again? Greater things are to come. When I got rejected from Harvard, I was on my senior trip to Hawaii with Sean in May of senior year at Caltech. And when I received that email, your decision has been posted from HBS, I knew it wasn't good because why would they say your decision has been posted? They would say an update has been posted. If a decision has been made, that means you don't get an interview. And at the time, I really, that day was really bad. Just like crying a lot, the usual feelings of despair, disappointment in yourself. But, we've grown, we've learned. And I think this is what I really want every young person to know out there, especially if you're in high school. I know it's really, really hard to actually internalize how the acceptance doesn't matter as much as you think it is. But please know that going to a top school, getting some name brand, being accepted by someone who doesn't know you, those are so unimportant and they mean nothing about who you are as a person. And maybe I'm just saying more of these things to comfort myself in this current moment when I just got rejected, but I think regardless, this is what I believe in. I'm in a very stoic mindset right now. This is my belief, even if I got it, because to this day, when I say sure, I got into Caltech, I'm not saying, oh, that validated me, because I could have very well been that kid who won number 1 in the international math competition who got rejected from Caltech, right? So people way cooler than me probably got rejected. So it's just we move on and we take it as a sign. It's a good sign that better things are to come. And yeah, I think this is a great instance too to show how I actually apply my advice in this current moment. I always tell you, take everything to your advantage, take the parts that benefit you and then leave the rest behind. So right now it's with that habit, I'm thinking this is great. I don't have to prepare for an interview now. This is a sign, because I was already hesitant in the first place to apply again to Harvard, because by this time in my life, in the summer, I was like, I'm doing so many great things on my own and I just want to keep pushing things in the direction I want, where I know it's going to pay off. I would rather do that than put efforts into some arbitrary, acceptance machine and pray that someone else thinks I'm great too. I was already kind of thinking that. So I think it's a sign that, yeah, I need to keep being in the habit of validating myself and doing what I can control, If I got accepted, sure, that is a plus. It's just a plus, okay? A little cherry on top of something, but it's not necessary. You are the whole sundae. You don't need that little cherry. It's artificial anyway. This is literally a sign from the universe, because I've dealt with, I think, nothing but the biggest rejections when it came to anything big or high clout that I applied to. Really, really, I feel like the universe has put me in this position to show some kind of fresh perspective, because I'm really not trying to like, toot my own horn or anything, but I feel like a lot of public perception would look at those other creators online and they would be so amazing. You're like, oh yeah, well, of course they went to Harvard, of course they went to Stanford, of course they went to Princeton. And we place so much value on these names. But there's a ton of amazing people out there who are Stanford, quote unquote, material, but they didn't get in, And those people don't vocalize those rejections. They're not the people vocalizing those. It's more people who talk about their acceptances online that get heard. And so I think I am really happy to be this voice of the other side, that there are people like me where we don't just get handed things. We don't get the luck, because getting accepted to a top school is definitely, like, that's where I think there is luck, right? In my other videos, I talk about how you make your own luck, but acceptances to schools, to jobs, those literally incorporate luck. Everything that I got, the primary driving factor of getting those, like growing the YouTube channel, it was so hard. I got nothing handed to me. I struggled for 2+ years before finding any form of success on YouTube. I got rejected to all the schools I wanted to get into, except for Caltech. Well, Caltech I didn't actually really want to attend, to be honest. I want to show that it's possible to succeed without being given boosters. I don't think I have any boosters in the stereotypical sense of like names and connections and generational wealth, right? What I do have is the love and support of my family, my hard work and dedication, and those softer things. I hope to show that we need to value those more as a society, and proof that it may be harder, but you can definitely succeed without those boosters. MIT Sloan is what I'll be attending instead. And oh my gosh, I know this now sounds like, oh my gosh, this girl's complaining about no Stanford, but she went to Caltech, and she's complaining about no Harvard, but she's going to MIT. People also thought that MIT Sloan is like, what? Why are you going to MIT for a business school? That seems silly, but people don't know it's a top 7 school. So I think it's like life continually tells me, hey, Amy, stop caring about clout, because you're not going to get it. You're not going to get the clout and you shouldn't care about clout. And I want to show other people that you shouldn't care about the clout either, because numbers in someone's following, that gives no indication of how cool someone is. There's no intrinsic impressiveness about someone's following. There's no intrinsic impressiveness about any kind of clout you see out there, because people from an Ivy, they could be jerks. You have to think deeper. I know right now with social media, a lot of things, it's just purely with the visuals, right? You see something for 2 seconds and you decide yes or no. Your yes or no is your thumb swiping it away or staying on. And I want people to think just a little deeper, to have a little more critical thinking of what is beneath the surface. And so Caltech, people thinking it's a state school, yeah, I could not use it to my advantage as a booster for making YouTube videos. When I tried putting Caltech in my titles, I was stuck at 500 subscribers. When I also tried using Stanford, I got rejected from Stanford, right? Like, I did get some more views, more follows, but those people weren't here for me, So what matters is who you are at the end of the day. Going to MIT Sloan, I visited the campus last year, I think. I do prefer Harvard's more, but some things are just not in the cards for me. The other day I visited Columbia University and I was like, wow, so this is what a real college experience is like. This place is huge. It's so grand, I said multiple times to Sean. I wonder what this would have been like. And that's why I want to go to also a bigger school. for graduate studies like Harvard. So Caltech, for context, is fewer than 1,000 undergrad. We had no football team. We had not so good sports teams, so exposing myself as a D3 basketball bench warmer. And MIT Sloan, it was just one single building, no campus feel. As someone who really values life and time and everyone's potential, yeah, I am really sad that it just seems like in this lifetime I will never get that college campus experience. But that's okay. Not every experience you have to maximize into your life. Because I get extreme FOMO. I'm like, these things in life, like, you have to experience each of these. Like, just one time I want to know what it's like being on a big college campus and people hanging around on the grass lawn after classes. But I've learned it doesn't make your life any less if you don't experience the common things that most people might. That we might feel regret about our past and we say, oh my gosh, I completely botched my 4 years of high school or 4 years of college, whatever that may be. There may be a period in your life where you're like, oh my gosh, that period of my life, I can never get that back. So in my entire life right now, like, that will always be a regret. That will always be a missing part of having a complete life. But I don't think that's right. Like, this is a reminder to myself as much as to you. Some things we don't have to experience. And I remind myself that, yeah, I might not have experienced, the college experience or the campus experience, but through what I can control and my unique life path and circumstances, background, my loved ones, I still experienced a lot of incredible things. And in fact, I can make myself experience things that not everyone experienced, and that are pretty freaking awesome. So I'm grateful for the things I do have. As long as we are trying our best, reflecting, following our passions, trying to do something good for the world, I think that our life will inevitably be made of experiences that are great. You see, life and time is just an allocation. Maybe I missed out on this, but I wasn't doing nothing to miss out on this. I was still doing something. And so by not having the college experience in undergrad, I got something unique and really special. I got to experience the STEM Hogwarts of the world, literally. And by missing my senior year of college, I missed out on that. But you know what else I gained? I gained a lot of resilience and ability to orchestrate my own type of life that I want earlier in life. So it's all a give and take kind of, but it's like no effort is lost, no time is lost, as long as you weren't mindlessly scrolling, as long as we're conscious, if we're awake in our life, no matter what it is, like, we are living, right? That's why I want people to associate mindless scrolling with not really living, because if you're not awake, if you're not conscious, like, nothing's happening for you. Even if something bad is happening in that moment, as long as you're not mindless, that is still life happening to you. This expectedly got more philosophical, but yeah, I think, again, taking everything to my advantage, this is a good thing, because now I can spend more of my time and energy on growing my own business and things that I could have done anyway without an acceptance from Harvard. And does part of me think, yeah, that would have been nice if I could say Harvard in my Instagram bio, or say how I got into Harvard in a YouTube video. But I take everything as a lesson. This is the universe telling me, hey, Amy, let's reel it back. Remember in the past when you felt the need to use some form of name or clout to give you a booster? You don't need that. I know it seems like it would be great, but it might distract you, in fact. So let's stick with what you know. Let's stick with what you care about and your values and who you are. And let's get her done. Thank you so much for sticking with me through this very strange, different format kind of podcast episode update, per se. I am so excited to share more about content creation and how I got here, because I believe that even though content creation seems so specific, it actually requires so many entrepreneurial and business skills that will help anyone in any realm of their lives. Hearing about how I iterated, learned, and struggled, eventually finding some success on YouTube, that can help you build whatever kind of business you want. That can help you be more of a self-starter in your corporate job. That can help you be a more standout student. That can help you be a better mom, even being someone in control of your life and being creative and problem-solving ways to design the kind of circumstances you want to make the most out of what cards life has dealt you. So I released a poll recently on this podcast saying, would you like me to make videos about content creation? Like my lessons I learned that I don't think that I haven't seen anyone else talk about, and other advice I would give. And 71% of you said yes, you want to have episodes about content creation. So that's what I will be delivering. And, I'm extremely passionate about content creation. I'm extremely passionate about people sharing their voices, their stories, their experiences that could help just that one person in the world who needed it. Like when I see those comments of this one person struggling and even feeling like their life has no meaning, and then they said that my video gave them hope again, I'm like, yes, this is why I do this. And if Harvard doesn't see that, it's fine. Hate to bring Harvard back into the conversation, but yeah, if they don't understand that from my application, which I think I conveyed very beautifully, then whatever. They don't understand it, but you understand it, and I understand it, and I still have this passion of content creation. It's going to be the future, and maybe they're just archaic right now, and that's okay, because I'm still going to do me. Them not understanding does not stop me. And I do want to note, I will put this as a reminder in my future episodes as well, but the general life advice videos on this podcast will still be relevant to anyone specifically looking to be a content creator. Because by building resilience, by having a better understanding of good habits and mindsets, that will holistically make you a really great entrepreneur, content creator as well. So that is to say that, I'm not changing the direction of my podcast or channel. It's that all of these, I really, truly believe, tie together, because to succeed in school, funny enough, actually, like most of my advice and tips are using problem solving and creativity that I'm applying right now to grow my business and to grow on social media. So life advice holistically makes you the kind of person that can provide value, that can increase your human capital. It would also help you create content more sustainably and happily. It will help you understand how to not feel bad about haters, how to build self-confidence about yourself, how to deal with failure and bounce back. The life advice I shared will be about how you can continue being driven, how to be disciplined, how to be inspired, how to, quote unquote, make yourself lucky. And then on the flip side, content creation videos will be a lot more than the technical things like, oh, make a great thumbnail. Okay. It will be as signature Amy style, more about deeper mindsets and ways to think about things, which will inevitably open your mind up to the possibilities in other aspects of your life. It's a win-win. They are two sides of the same coin. Also, like yin yang, being good and having the right mindset about life advice helps you have the right mindset and be good at your exciting personal pursuits, and that will also in turn in a circle help you with your life. Thanks so much. Remember to keep living your A+ life. Thanks so much for spending your precious time with me today. And please, as always, let me know what you would like me to cover next. I am also, so many announcements, going to be starting a section at the end of the podcast called Ask Amy, where instead of doing a full episode on Q&A at the end of each of my podcast episodes now, there will be this little section where I answer a few of your questions from you personally. So make sure to comment and stay engaged. Turn on your notifications if you have not already. And see you next time. You're awesome. Bye.